Ash vs. Evil Dead Episode 4 Brujo. Love this episode for some of the stuff that they introduced. First thing, right off the top, I'm really happy that the demon from the last episode wasn't 100% defeated. I hadn't even considered the fact that it could have actually transferred into Kelly because of how she got rid of it. And as soon as I saw, I was watching the recap before the episode started. As soon as that happened, I was like, what if it went into her? That was the first thing I thought, but that hadn't occurred to me whatsoever during the episode. I was like, oh, she actually defeated it, because it's the book brought it out. So if you hit it with the book, if you can't use the actual spell, that's the way to do it. Use the object that spelled it. And I think I've seen that in other, some sort of demon-based thing, and it just made sense. That makes sense to me. And so it didn't work out too well. The demon is now inside of Kelly, and it's officially taken her over. But it's kind of doing the slow play. It's going after Ash. Everyone else at this point doesn't matter. I guess because it's not at its full strength. So it might not have, the super strength and stuff. And that's why it didn't really go after Pablo when they were both in the cabin. Which was also cool that he was making Ash another hand. And it instantly made me think, what happened to the hand he got from Army of Darkness? So I was like, I wonder what happened with all that, if we'll even get an answer or something. Because it is canon. It wouldn't make sense that it wasn't canon. He went from 2 to 3, so it's canon as far as I'm concerned. But I don't, it's cool that he's gonna get a robot hand. We even see Ash. Not only do they talk about getting him a new hand, but we see him with both his actual hands, and we see his old hand that he chopped off from the second movie. So there was a ton of stuff that was awesome in this episode. We find out that Ruby is also connected to the second film because she is actually the sister of the woman from the second movie who got killed. She said her name, but I completely forgot. But she's the woman, if you saw the movie, she's the one who died at the very end, which was kind of messed up. But she was the last person to die before Ash got sucked back in time. So Ruby is actually the daughter of the two people who own the cabin and the sister of the woman from the second movie. And I was like, that was just awesome. I was trying to, I was wondering, how everything played out for her character, or how everything worked out for her character, and it turns out she has a huge connection to the old film, so that was really sweet. A lot of callbacks to the old movies in this episode. This one had even more callbacks than, I think it was the first episode, yeah. This one had more callbacks than the first episode did when they had the conversation between Ash and Pablo. And we got to see, clips of the first movie and, Ruby's connection to the movie, Ash's hand, the clips as far as, the flashbacks and everything. Sort of a reference, at least, to Army of Darkness as well as Evil Dead 2 as well, because, they're making him a new hand, which him getting a new hand was Army of Darkness. And also that was, made out of metal as well as, made out of a suit of armor type metal, which is just metal. I don't know what my problem is, but it's just metal. But, you might get a full-on Terminator hand, which would be very interesting. And it was really funny watching that scene because, 2 scenes before, Pablo was talking with Ash, how his grandfather, or how his Brujo said, he was leaving his heritage behind. He's like, maybe I did, and I wanted to find myself, but I just ended up, working at Value Stop. And then he was making a robotic hand. I'm like, how in the world did he end up at a retail store? And he used old game controllers and made a robotic hand. I was like, how in the world did he just end up at a little retail shop, even if he was in the big time doing electronics? It kind of blew my mind when I saw that. I was like, holy crap. I thought he was just going to say hey, we'll make, fashion some parts or something. But he's got a switch and it's bending the finger and everything. That kind of blew my mind. I was like, I did not see any of that coming from his character. So that was kind of cool. It kind of makes me hope. I doubt it would happen, but it kind of makes me want to see him kind of invent something that helps them survive at some point. But it was a very awesome episode. The beginning starts off with, them in the car. This is the first time they actually show, the camera and the camera thing when we see kind of just the evil coming towards people. We actually physically see it as darkness in this episode, or well, not darkness, but it's fog and everything, which I thought was interesting. I was kind of surprised that they did that, because that's such an iconic thing for the franchise, where it's always just been a camera, and there always has been smoke, because they did that in the original films as well, the first two, and I believe they may have done that in the remake, where once it's like kind of the evil coming at people, it gets like incredibly foggy, and the fog like just rolls in. So it kind of is just fog anyway. So I guess technically they have, but we actually physically saw it moving. It wasn't just like, oh, they pump fog onto the set or whatever. It was like actual fog coming at them. We find out that Ash has. I'm pretty sure he said he had like 12 payments or something ridiculous like that. He was like, I got like 12 more payments and she's mine or something crazy. So I'd love that. But he also has nitrous in his car, which is funny. And then, he goes into his whole trip and everything. And it was pretty cool. Like, his favorite place is Jacksonville because he never actually went there, which once again ties into the movies because he was meant to go there, but he had like a little trip before that when he went up to the cabin, and then, as he put it, his life was never the same. So, for whatever reason, Jacksonville was just like his big thing. He even loves the name. Like, I don't know, but it was really funny to me. I loved it. He gets his lizard in there talking, which looked really funny because they like it superimposed the mouth on the lizard. It like looks good because they have good equipment, but it still looked funny because it's clearly just like they kind of shorten the mouth to make it fit onto the lizard, but you see like the guy's teeth. And it's like that just makes it so funny to me that he's talking to this lizard, and I love that. It was really fun. Then the demon comes at him in his dream. That was really cool. It's always great to see it because, like I said before, I love how they visually do it where, for whatever reason, the mouth stays completely still and the rest of it moves around. And I'm assuming that's because the person in the suit, or the person who does the mocap for the creature, is in like a green suit. So they do like the mouth as like actual prosthetics and like that's actual just physical makeup. But the rest of it is completely CG, and so that's why it's able to move around like that, which I love. I think that makes it look even cooler than if it was just completely still. But love that design since I saw it from the first trailer, which I blabbed on about in the last review, so I won't do that again. But I was glad to see that come back. I loved all the references and throwbacks to the movie. Ruby's connection was probably my favorite thing. Maybe it may have been my second favorite. Honestly, the fact that she had Ash's hand kind of blew my mind. Like, I didn't see that one coming, so that was kind of just really cool to see, his hand. And she mentioned, like, it never moved. It hasn't moved for, like, 30 years and stuff, which makes sense because he was sent back in time, and then he was kind of separated from his hand, I would have to assume, even though he was still in Michigan. But, it was really awesome. A lot of great callbacks. I'm looking forward to seeing the next episode because they're going to kind of have to work together to solve this issue. And based on the preview, I guess they think the demon is inside of Ash, and that's why he's having the issue, and that's why he, choked Kelly. But it's still inside of Kelly, so I don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but I think Pablo is going to kind of get some ideas and stuff from his uncle, and it's going to make him more of a power, as a part of the trio that they have. So I'm looking forward to that. Something else that kept getting me, and I don't know, maybe I kept hearing it wrong, but when Ash like first went into like his sort of dream, and this is the same thing that they played, it was sort of like the church stuff that was playing at the end of the episode for the credits. I swear every time that guy said, like, it was like, look at your, know your head or something. He said, like, look into your future or whatever. And I swear it sounded like he kept saying, and your ass will follow. I have no idea what he was really saying. But I swear every time I heard it, I was like, is he saying, and your ass will follow? Because that's all I could hear. But it just kept catching my attention. So if you guys actually heard what was being said, please let me know. Because it wasn't driving me nuts, but I'm like, he can't be saying that. Like, it makes sense because it's Ash versus Evil Dead. But at the same time, it's like, why would that be in there? It's just so silly. It makes no sense. But then that kind of just makes it go full circle because it's Ash versus Evil Dead. I don't know. But I really love this episode. I was surprised to see the demon come back. Love that. Ruby kind of fighting against the demon was pretty cool. In the preview, I don't know why I thought this. I thought she had like a shotgun for some reason. And I thought she stabbed the Deadite and was going to like blow it away. I don't know why I saw a shotgun when she had a lamp in her hand. But that's what I saw from that preview. I wish it was a shotgun because that would have been way more epic. But it was still awesome. Like, she stabs the demon. Couple of super gross things. One was her after she chopped the head off, and I don't know why I can never remember the cop's name. I always mess her name up, but when she and the cop were about to leave and the Deadite head comes back and she just crushes it, I was like, oh, that was kind of gross. Which just, I don't have an issue with it. It was just like, oh, sometimes it surprises me when something gets like super gross because the decapitations are kind of like, oh, it's the head flings off and it's like meh. Sometimes it can be like super over the top if they want to play it up, but normally it's like they get decapitated and it's like some blood comes out, head lands on the ground, and then she like squished it and like smashed half the face, and I was like, okay, didn't see that coming. And then at the end when Ash was like going up against the demon and he was taking control again, and so he's holding off the one demon and he brings like the little doll, which it was cool to see the doll come back as well. He like just squeezes the doll head, and first the one little eye pops out, and then the second eye like pops out like it hit the camera. I was like, I did not expect them to do that, but it was super awesome. It was like just a little moment where I was like, oh man, he's like squeezing her head off, like popped her eye out, other eye hit the camera and everything. I was like, I wasn't expecting them to play that one up, but I certainly loved it. It was a nice little surprise. I like when they do that. Kind of like when the mother killed the father. Well, when Kelly's mother killed, I mean, they're the only mother and father in this, so you probably know what I meant. But when I thought she was going to stab him in the neck, and then she just slammed his head on top of the fork, that really threw me off. I was like, oh, she's going to stab him and kill him, and, blood will squirt out or something because, it's Evil Dead. But it was, I don't know if that was more subtle or not. I guess it was more subtle as far as, being super over the top with the blood and everything. But, I mean, that caught me off guard. She just slammed his head, and I was like, okay, not what I thought was going to happen here. And the same stuff happened with Ash, like, squeezing the doll head and, the eyes actually popping out and everything. So, love this episode. It seemed like it just flew by. I guess all the episodes do, because, they're only 30 minutes, which is still so sad. But I hope when Season 2 comes out, we get, like, some full hour-long episodes or, 45-minute whatever episodes. But certainly loved it. Of course, want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And I want to know how you guys think they're going to get the demon out of Kelly. Because they have the book, and I'm sure that there's a spell in there somewhere that can extract a demon. And that's what they talk about doing in the next episode for Ash. Because I guess there was some sort of mix-up because of him, trying to kill Kelly. They assume the demon isn't him. But I want to know what you guys think is going to happen, because it's obviously not going to be simple. Based on the preview, the whole episode takes place in Brujo's camp or whatever, which I don't mind, because I kind of like how creepy the place is, and him having this weird connection to all this spiritual stuff. And it seems like Pablo, they had like one shot where he was looking at a medallion, and then he walked, and then one of the things was just on fire. So I don't know what was happening in that scene, but it's like I kind of mentioned before with him kind of getting some ideas, spiritual-wise and maybe magic-wise from his uncle. I think that's kind of how this episode might play out, and he might even be the one to help the team, which I would love if, because that would kind of just, it would be cool for his character, because at this point, really, it's been Ash, and technically Kelly did stop him in the last episode, so we kind of need something, for Pablo to really win. Because every time he does something, it's like he does the attack and then it didn't work. And it's like, oh, crap. And, that's pretty much it. He did help a little in the last episode as well. But ultimately, he just got caught by the demon. Like, he tried to stop it and it didn't work. And then, they were both, he and Ash were about to get killed until Kelly came in. But want to know what you guys think, how it's going to get solved. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.